Bonjour et bienvenue à notre rendez-vous de presse quotidienne dans la salle de presse de la Commission européenne. Merci de nous suivre également en ligne et en direct sur Europe by Satellite. Nous sommes les jeudis 8 juillet. Je commence par donner la parole à Christian qui a des bonnes nouvelles à vous annoncer concernant la Suisse.
Bonjour. Aujourd'hui, la Commission a adopté une décision garantissant que les certificats COVID-19 délivrés par la Suisse seront considérés comme équivalents aux certificats COVID numériques de l'Union européenne. La Suisse est le premier pays, en fait, en dehors des 30 pays de l'Union européenne et de l'espace économique européen, à être connecté au système de l'UE. En pratique, cela signifie qu'à partir de demain, les certificats COVID suisses seront acceptés dans l'UE sous les mêmes conditions que les certificats COVID numériques de l'Union européenne. De même, la Suisse acceptera le certificat COVID numérique de l'UE pour les ressortissants de l'Union européenne qui se rendent en Suisse. Nous nous félicitons du fait que le certificat COVID numérique facilitera non seulement les déplacements au sein de l'Union, mais aussi entre l'Union européenne et la Suisse. Vous trouverez plus d'informations dans notre Daily News. Merci.
Thank you, Christian. And let me also remind you that the informal meeting of EU Employment and Social Affairs Ministers is taking place in Slovenia today and tomorrow. Participants will discuss about ways to achieve more resilient and inclusive labour markets for all generations. Vice President for Democracy and Demography, Dubravka Šuica, attends the first day of this meeting, and Commissioner for Jobs and Social Rights, Nicola Schmid, will join the meeting for both days. Commissioner Schmid will also take part in the press conference that will take place after the meeting today at around 17:30. Of course, you can watch this press conference on EBS. There are quite a number of press conferences today. Donc, effectivement, nous allons essayer de garder ces midday briefings relativement courts, car le commissaire Reinders viendra vous présenter le tableau de bord de la justice dans l'Union européenne à 13h. Et ensuite, à 14h, nous allons organiser pour vous un briefing technique, un background, sur les cas des pratiques anticoncurrentielles que la vice-présidente exécutive Vestager vient de vous présenter ici en salle de presse. And last but no least, I want to say goodbye to Jaini Virtanen, our colleague who's been working with us in Brussels for about 3 years. So, dear Jaini, we enjoyed working with you. You had 1.5 years of pandemic press room, but we also had 1.5 years with the vibrant press room that we used to know, with many and intense contacts with your colleagues and with us, the spokespeople service. It was a pleasure working with you. We always appreciated your humor, your wit, your very kind way of engaging and professionalism. So all the best for the future. I understand that you go back to Helsinki to continue working on your home turf. Keep in touch. And with that, we can go to your questions. So please indicate by raising your hand whether you are in the press room or whether you are connected from a distance. Yes, I see that David Carreta requests the floor. David, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Dana. I would have a question for Marta on the recovery and resilience plan of Hungary. I would like to know if, from a legal point of view, you have to take a decision or conclude the evaluation on the 12th of July, or you can wait, and how long you can wait from a legal point of view, or if you need request by the member state to have a prorogation of some times. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Marta, are you there?
Yes, indeed, I am here. Thank you very much for your question. I think here, the text of the regulation is pretty clear, and it's available to you as well as for colleagues. It's Article 19 of the regulation, which says that the Commission shall assess the Recovery and Resilience Plan within 2 months. In the same paragraph, you can also read that the member states concerned and the Commission may agree to extend the deadline for assessment by a reasonable period if necessary. So on this basis, of course, the Commission and the member states can agree on an extension. Of course, at this stage, I wouldn't want to speculate whether this will be the case in the case of Hungary, as you will understand. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Marta, David has a follow-up question. Go ahead, David.
Yes, thank you. It's just a clarification. So if there is no agreement between the member states and the Commission to have the extension, the Commission has the obligation to decide after 2 months. Is it correct?
Marta?
Thank you very much. I mean, there's really not much I can add to what I said, because the regulation itself is pretty clear on this. It doesn't foresee any, scenarios of, what happens if. And again, I wouldn't want here to speculate what will happen in such a scenario. As I said, we still have some time ahead of this expiry of this 2 months period. We are continuing our discussions with the Hungarian authorities. We obviously wish to reach a conclusion as soon as possible. So for the moment, I would prefer to leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Are there any additional questions about the RRF? So please keep your hand up if your question is about that. I understand that Natalia has a question about this. No, it wasn't about that, so she put her hand down. Jérôme.
But can you hear me, Dana?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
It's not on this, though. Is that okay?
Yes,
sorry.
Because I do not see any other hands raised to ask RF questions, so go ahead.
Thank you. My question relates to this organization, the MEK or MKO, the Mujahideen Khalq organization. And this is the group that wants to overthrow the government in Iran. And Iraq and Iran describe it as a terrorist organization, but they're going to have their annual conference in Paris this weekend on Saturday. Former members have described it like as a bloodthirsty cult, that it's involved in imprisoning people and forced sterilization and torture and separating children from parents. So I want to ask, is this an organization, should it be banned in the EU? I think it was previously banned, but is there anything you can say on that?
Thank you very much. I will try to see if Peter has anything to share with you about this. This would be something that would rather fall within his remit, but in case we don't have anything complete, you will get it after the midday briefing.
Thank you, Jérôme. Good afternoon. I can only stress one thing in general when it comes to the sanctions or putting organizations on the EU's terrorist list. This is the result of agreement among the member states. And if an agreement is made, then the entity or the organization is put on the Somebody switched off my phone. So if the agreement is made among the member states by unanimity, then the entity, organization, or the individual is put on the either terrorist or sanctions list, and then the member states are responsible for enforcing the restrictive measures against this entity or individual.
Thank you very much. Are there any additional questions for Peter on this or other subjects of foreign affairs? I think first that Jérôme has a follow-up question. So go ahead, Jérôme.
Yeah, and it's I suppose I could, but it's just this organization is currently not banned, is it, or subject to sanctions? Can you clarify that?
I would have to check the list when it comes specifically to this particular organization.
And Peter will get back to you after the midday briefing bilaterally. So now I invite you to raise your hand if you have additional questions that you want to ask to Peter on foreign affairs matters in the room and online. No such questions for you today, Peter. Thank you. So please now raise your hands if you want to ask questions about any other matters. So Natalia, finally your turn. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Do you hear me well?
Yes, all good. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a question for Stefan on health. I wanted to know if the European Commission is worried about the COVID situation in Spain, as recently the cases have increased, and there are countries like France that are saying to their citizens not to travel to Spain because of the situation. So I just wanted to know if the European Commission is concerned about this.
Thank you, Natalia. Stefan, are you there?
I'm here. You see and hear me?
All good. All good.
Okay. Thank you, Natalia. Well, I had a similar question a few days ago, and I think our reply remains largely unchanged. Of course, we follow and monitor the situation closely together with the colleagues of the ECDC. You know that the ECDC publishes a map with the situation of the vaccine rates in the different member states. And of course, as the President, Vice President and Commissioner have always stressed, it's extremely important that we continue the vaccination efforts that are ongoing. The virus is still out there. The variants are still out there, so vaccination remains absolutely crucial. The more so as EMA has clearly indicated that on the basis of current studies and scientific evidence, a double dose is the best way to protect ourselves against these variants. So we continue to follow the situation closely in the different member states. And our Commissioner Kyriakides is also making visits of several member states to see what the situation is, to monitor the situation and see to what extent we can help. So everywhere where the vaccination rates are not following, of course, the message is very clear. We must continue the vaccinations. The Commission stands ready to offer support if such support may be helpful, but it's very important that we continue these efforts. Also important in this context that we clearly explain to the citizens that vaccines are efficient, effective and necessary, not just for ourselves, but also for our friends, for the colleagues and for the other people in the country. So we need to continue these vaccinations, and this is a message that we will continue to pass, because as you know, we have set an objective of 70% of vaccination of the adult population, which is a very important step we need to take to go towards herd immunity. Thank you.
Indeed, thank you very much, Stefan. And we are indeed convinced and hopeful and optimistic that we are going to provide enough doses to vaccinate 70% of the European Union adults in July. Are there any additional questions for Stefan? Yes, go ahead.
Oui, bonjour, Luis Tovar, Informativos Tele5. C'est par rapport à la question qu'a fait ma collègue Natalia. Je voudrais savoir s'il faut vraiment déconseiller les voyages en Espagne. On est 8 juillet, il y a une semaine que les passeports, les certificats, les COVID certificates est en vigueur. Donc, il faut vraiment prendre des mesures pour la situation épidémiologique en Espagne. La France, l'Allemagne sont des pays qui ont déjà déconseillé les voyages en Espagne. Donc, est-ce que vous êtes préoccupé pour ces annonces? Il faut vraiment déconseiller ces voyages en Espagne maintenant et faire ces annonces. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Stéphane.
Merci beaucoup. Comme je viens d'expliquer, nous continuons à suivre la situation. Ce qui est très important, c'est que et la Commission insiste toujours qu'en ce qui concerne le voyage et la libre circulation des personnes, il est important que les États membres et la Commission essaient de trouver une solution coordonnée pour l'Union européenne, pour assurer une approche cohérente dans l'Union européenne. Je pense que ce n'est pas à moi de me prononcer, ni à la Commission de nous prononcer sur il faut aller dans ce pays ou pas dans cet autre pays. C'est quelque chose qui doit être discuté dans le cadre et bien suivi dans le cadre des contacts entre les États membres, prenant en considération également, évidemment, l'avantage qui est offert à la garantie de la libre circulation des personnes via notre certificat digital. Merci.
Merci beaucoup Stéphane. Y a-t-il d'autres questions pour Stéphane au sujet du Covid ou de la vaccination? Quentin.
Oui, bonjour Dana et Stéphane, est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Tout va bien, vas-y.
Tout va bien, vas-y. Super, oui, c'est juste une question technique peut-être pour Stéphane ou Adalbert, mais dans mes souvenirs, la Commission, elle a son mot à dire et elle peut proposer des opinions sur l'emergency break pour la question de la refermeture des frontières au niveau des pays tiers, mais dans mes souvenirs aussi dans la recommandation sur la libre circulation à l'intérieur de l'Union européenne, c'est aussi le cas. Est-ce que tu peux me confirmer que la Commission peut quand même donner son avis sur cette question-là avec les États?
Merci beaucoup Quentin. Ça serait plutôt une question pour Christian parce que cela concerne la libre circulation à l'intérieur de l'Union européenne. Donc j'invite Christian à me joindre sur scène.
Oui, bonjour Quentin, merci pour ta question. Nous avons on a cette emergency break dans notre recommandation pour la coordination de la libre circulation dans l'Union européenne. Et ce qui est prévu est que si un État membre décide de prendre des mesures dans cet contexte, que les mesures sont communiquées aux autres États membres et à la Commission et alors discuter dans ce groupe avec les États membres et la Commission. Il n'y a pas d'opinion formelle, je pense, de la Commission, mais bien sûr, évidemment, la Commission part de ces discussions entre les États membres pour assurer une approche coordonnée.
Merci beaucoup Christian. Y a-t-il d'autres questions pour Christian au sujet de la libre circulation? Cela n'est pas le cas, donc merci beaucoup Christian. Voilà, y a-t-il d'autres questions pour nous aujourd'hui sur d'autres sujets? Katalin, go ahead.
Thank you, Dana. This is a question about the Hungarian national consultation. As you know, the consultation has started. It's for Christian then. And Brussels and the Brussels bureaucrats play quite a big role in this consultation. There are several questions addressed to citizens about Brussels abusing its power, Brussels wanting to enforce new taxes on Hungary, and moreover, there are billboards in Budapest and elsewhere which say, "Are you angered by Brussels? Take part in national consultation." So my question is whether this is something the Commission would like to comment on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katalin. Christian.
Yes, Katalin, we are well aware of this, of course. What I can say is that in any democracy, it is, of course, good that citizens are consulted. We regularly ourselves conduct public consultations. They always include multiple choices, and they give a possibility of a free response. Consultations are important for citizens to be able to have a say on issues that matter to them. However, such consultations must be based on correct information and facts, not insinuations or even beyond that, spread disinformation. This is why, where the European Union is concerned, the Commission will always be relentless in making sure that the information provided to the public about EU policy is correct. With regard to the recent Hungarian national consultation, let me give you a few examples. On environment, together we need to make sure that the costs is carried fairly in society. On the question of the law we have been discussing a lot recently, the right of parents to educate children is undisputed. What the EU cannot agree on is discrimination. We believe in a Europe which embraces diversity. Migration is a common European issue on which we need to work together. The Commission presented a new pact on migration and asylum in September 2020, which takes a comprehensive approach that fully involves all national governments. We expect all our member states to uphold and apply our shared values and to respect their legal obligations.
Thank you very much, Christian. Are there any additional questions about this topic? I do not see any, so thank you once more, Christian. Are there any other topics that you wish to raise with us today? That is not the case, so thank you very much. Do not forget the other press conferences and technical briefings that we are organizing for you today, starting with the press conference at 1 o'clock by Commissioner Reinders. See you later. Bye-bye.